Hello, this is Ra of Tamazone. So I wanted to go ahead and make this video because I'm going to go over several things in this video that I think are super exciting. The first and foremost is going to be, of course, as you can see from the title as well, an English patch for the Tamagotchi Smart. Yes, you heard that right. There actually is an English project ongoing currently in the Tamagotchi Discord. The entire thing was put together by Studded from the Discord community. He posted this video and I happened to come across it and I was just amazed that this was even a possibility. It took me back to the days of when the P's first got translated into English by Mr. Blinky. And so I reached out to him to ask about some of the details, and he said that it is not complete yet, but he had translated the menus and a few basic things in it, but the dialogues in the Smart had yet to be translated because he doesn't speak Japanese. So there's actually currently an ongoing project in the Discord community by people all contributing who are able to help in that capacity to move this translation along as speedily as possible. So if you think that you could be of help, you have some Japanese knowledge, feel free. I would actually encourage you to drop by the Tamagotchi Discord and lend a hand in that. So in this video, I'm going to show you the English patch, first of all, and then I'm going to show you how you can make custom content to put onto your Tamagotchi Smart. To do that, we're going to need to put together a programmer, which I'm also going to show you how to do. Or if you feel it's a little too technical and you're not all that familiar with how to do something like that, I'm also going to provide a link to where you can actually just purchase one. So the first thing to go over would be the English patch itself. So when I reached out to Studded and he said, sure, I'll go ahead and make one for you, I purchased this from him. So he made this custom card for me and he put the patch onto it. Now the thing with this card is it is a 16 megabyte card, which means that you will need a 16 megabyte one in order to go ahead and use the patch. Unfortunately, the DIM cards or Tama Smart cards are not large enough to be able to accommodate that. I personally don't know how to make one of these 16 megabyte ones, but I will include links down in the description to the parts that he used to put this together. And he, in the future at some point, said that he may actually put together a guide on how to put it together yourself. He said the only thing you really need is to just purchase the parts, which are fairly inexpensive, and just do a bit of soldering. That's about it. So I'm also going to leave a link to Studded's store down in the description. Every once in a while he makes a few of these and puts them up in his store, so if you happen to catch his store at one of those times, you should be able to purchase one from his store as well. So I'm first gonna go ahead and demonstrate how the English patch works, what it looks like, and actually how incredible it is, and then we're gonna move on to creating a programmer of our own. I'm also gonna include links to the parts that you will need here down in the description. I ordered all of these from Amazon. They were fairly inexpensive. I think overall the parts I needed were just three things. It was the CH341A programmer, a mini SD card reader, and just connector cables. These were female to female 10 centimeter connector cables. And as I say, it became like $13 or maybe $14, something like it's very, very affordable. So it wasn't anything expensive or anything. I haven't done this myself either. This is going to be the first time I'm also going to be attempting to put this together, but I printed the instructions from Mr. Blinky's website on how to do this. Looking over them, it seems fairly straightforward. This process actually does not require any sort of soldering, so you won't need to worry about that. It's literally just a matter of plugging the connector cables into the pins, and that's it. Now, when you're ordering the mini SD card reader, be careful to read over the description carefully because mine came unsoldered. So this part, if it'll focus, this part was unsoldered, so I had to solder this in myself. But I know from having looked at the listings on Amazon, some of them specifically do say soldered, so pay attention to that. If you're not very good with soldering or whatever, you won't have to deal with that. But yeah, so there is that. And I also wanted to go over this. If you feel this is a little too complicated and you don't want to deal with any of this, you can purchase a pre-made programmer as well. There is a person in the Digimon community, apparently. I wasn't aware of this until a friend pointed it out. Their name is Bazjo, and they have a store where they sell pre-made programmers, which are actually a lot more compact and smaller than the one that we're going to be putting together. But honestly, it doesn't matter because bulky or not, the whole point is, does it work? And the one that we'll be putting together for fairly inexpensive cost, it will work. But if you want something that's ready-made, compact, much smaller, this is something that you can purchase from Bazjo's shop. I will leave a link to that down in the description as well. If I recall, this came to like $25 with shipping, and he ships it out from Germany, and this came to my house here in the US in about a week and a half. So it wasn't that long at all. So this just makes the whole process easier. But yeah, as I said, if you don't want to spend this amount of money, you can do it for cheaper at home yourself. So I am going to go ahead and adjust my camera. And first we will start with the patch itself. I'll show you how that is. And then we'll go ahead and get started with our programmer. And then I will show you how to use the programmer to be able to dump data out of the SD cards, the Tama Smart cards, and also to put in custom content. So another cool thing that this device is going to allow you to do, and this is something that is a worry for a lot of people, is if you're aware of it, each card comes with a limitation of 3 connections. So for example, in my initial Tamagotchi Smart review, I used this 1996 Friends card and connected it actually to this Tamagotchi Smart right here, which means that this only has 2 more unique connections left in it. After that, you cannot use these cards. They get locked out. It, for some bizarre reason, only allows you to have 3 unique connections with 3 different Tamagotchi Smart watches. So the cool thing about this is once you have your programmer, you'll be able to connect to Studded's website tool, which I will link down in the description, and you can see it here on your screen as well. And this will allow you to reset that lock. So you don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, am I not going to be able to use this with, anything more than 3 devices? Or, as you know, some smartwatches have the tendency to just get fried and die. But that means that you already wasted one of your connections. What happens in that instance? This gets rid of that worry because you can just reset the counter basically, so you don't have to deal with it. So yeah, without further ado, I'm going to adjust my camera and we'll get right into it. Okay, so let's go ahead and first translate our Tamagotchi Smart into English. Now, when you're doing this, you will have to keep in mind that doing this will wipe everything off of your device. So all the progress you've made, everything, it'll basically be completely reset. So keep that in mind. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this guy on. And it doesn't matter what we do. As I said, so this is going to be completely wiped. There we go. Okay. So everything is in Japanese. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up the data port. And we're gonna get our card, insert it, and then we're gonna turn it around. I'm gonna get my and press reset. And we're gonna wait until the screen turns dark. Right now it is doing its job. And I know it's working because the red indicator light is on. Okay, that should be done. The indicator light is off. The screen has turned off. I'm going to remove our card. And already it's in English. I'm smiling from ear to ear right now. It looks so good to be able to actually read what's happening here. I'm not going to bother again with the correct information, but I'm going to say set your birthday. And we'll just enter a name. As I said, this isn't finished yet, but hopefully soon enough it will be. Then we're gonna wait for the little egg to hatch again. There we go. So it'll be really cool to be able to see all the dialogue in English when the project is completed. I look forward to when that happens, because it's going to be absolutely wonderful to be able to read everything as well as the dialogues. So awesome. So there's the status. It's just amazing to be able to read all of this. It's the little things. Settings. Sound, battery, time, and brightness. And avatar. Change yes or no. medicine and sitter and smuspichi. Meal and snack. Toilet and shower. Items, accessory, and treasure. Tamagotchi Smart, Tama Small Card, and Friends. So yeah, this is so cool, and I'm so excited to see this project once it is completed, how awesome it's going to be able to read everything completely. But yeah, so I'm going to move on to us putting our own programmer together. So let's get started on that. I will go over the parts that we need once again, and we'll go from there. All right, so we're going to need our CH341A programmer, which I have right here. And we're going to need our short micro SD card and connector cables, female to female, 10 centimeters. As I said before, the links to where to purchase all of these can be found in the description below. They are from Amazon. And as I said earlier, be careful when you're purchasing the short micro SD card module, because you want to make sure that it is not the long one, first of all. As Mr. Blinky's instructions show here, this is not it. You want the small short version. But also, as I ran into this issue, be careful that it comes pre-soldered, otherwise you'll have to solder it yourself, which I had to do. So we're gonna follow the instructions, and hopefully this is not too complicated. I mean, it seems pretty straightforward, so let's have a look. So from what I see, we're going to need 6 pieces of this. So I'm gonna go ahead and separate 6 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there won't be any soldering or anything involved in the making of this. We'll just basically be plugging these into the correct spots. So as the instructions show, we've got our parts. And this is basically what we need to do. So we're basically going to match, and it's going to be pretty simple. We're going to be matching the writing to the writing on this, on the back of them. See if I can get the camera. See, as you can see, the writing on the left side here matches the writing on the right side here. We're going to basically match each one to each other with the cables and connect them. So, and as I said, there is no soldering involved. We're just going to plug them into each piece together. So first one is CLK, and I see that right here at the bottom, CLK here, and in this one it is the third one from the bottom up, CLK, if it'll focus right there. So let's get to it. So I'll get this one, and we will So it's the third one up. I will first get this, plug that in like that. Super simple, no soldering involved. And we're gonna get CLK plugged into here. Over here, it is the one at the very bottom. So like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and match all of them accordingly with the instructions that are seen here. And let's see how this goes. Okay. All right, so let's double check all of it. So green is plugged into 3.3V. Let's follow green to this side, and it is 3.3V. Brown is plugged into GND. Brown is plugged into GND. MIOS is blue. MIOS, blue. MOSI is yellow. MOSI is yellow. CS is orange. CS is orange, and CLK is red, and CLK is red. Okay, that is it. That's completely it. Now, we have our programmer. This should completely work. And over here, Mr. Blinky goes on to say you can use a cable binder, rubber band, or double-sided tape, or even hot glue to attach this to make it easier to work. I mean, it's fine, it doesn't have to be attached, but if you would like, kind of like it's shown in the picture here, you can kind of tie it with a rubber band or whatever else you would like. It is fine. So let's go ahead and move on to the next part, where I'm going to show you how this can read our Thomas small cards. And I'm gonna do it with the 1996 Friends one. That way we can also erase the usage on it. And I'll also show this one as well, that the way it works, how it's pretty much the same thing, it's just a lot smaller and more compact. So that's it. All right, now let's move on to the next part. Okay, so you'll have to excuse my setup. So we have our programmer here. I'm gonna go ahead and plug it in, and the light indicates that it is plugged in. And then I'm gonna get our card and plug that in. And then I'm gonna turn my camera to the screen and see if we can do this. Sadly, my computer is very old. It couldn't support like a screen recorder, so we're gonna have to do this a crappy way. I'm sorry, but yeah, hopefully it'll still show enough that you know exactly what we're doing. So let me adjust that. Okay, so hopefully you can see it. As I said, I'm sorry I'm unable to do the screen recording, which would have been much cleaner, but I needed a computer. But hopefully you can see this. So the first thing we're gonna need to do is when you first plug it in, it should make like that little chirping, like deep noise or whatever to indicate that it is plugged in and your computer is trying to recognize it. We're gonna go ahead and check it first. So we're gonna do Windows X and go over to Device Manager and then to Interface. Over here on my laptop, CH341A, my computer does recognize it. So it means we did everything right. It's fine. It's fine. And what we're gonna need is a program called AS Programmer. Now I'm gonna leave a link to this down in the description. This is a GitHub link to this open source program that we're gonna use to extract and upload data into our Tamasmart card. I got this from Mr. Blinky's page where he links it as well, but I'm gonna leave a link to this in my description as well. So when we have it, we're gonna open up the program. First, you will notice there is nothing by IC, there is no information, it's all pretty much blank. The first thing we need to do is come over here to Read ID. And we're gonna double click the top one and close out of it. Now you will notice IC changed, numbers down here changed, it's fine. Next, we're gonna go ahead and unprotect it. That is done. And finally, we're gonna come to where it says Read IC. And it should start reading the contents of our card. It says reading memory. And there it is. It pulled up everything that is in our card. Now we're gonna go ahead and save this. We're gonna come to Save File, and I'll name it 1996 Friends card.bin, B-I-N. And we're gonna go ahead and save. Now, next, we're done with this. We're gonna go to Studed's website, which is what we're gonna use to be able to do everything that we wanted to do. Now we saved it. I'm gonna come over here to where it says choose file, and I'm gonna, it should be on desktop. There, 1996 friends card.bin. And there it is. Now I'm gonna scroll down. You don't have to download anything with this website. The website does all of this. Here is everything that is on this card, which is absolutely wonderful to be able to actually see all of this. So yeah, all of this is here, and it is super easy to be able to edit all of this and change it. So basically, as he has also put in some basic information up here, it says click on an image to replace it, open your PNG or BMP image. Your image should contain the same number or fewer colors than the palette size for the image you're trying to replace. For best results, use an image that is the same size as the image you're replacing. For image sets with only one image, you can just click the save button. For sets with multiple images using different colors, you may need to preserve palette colors as you import subsequent images. Check the boxes of colors that you need to preserve from the previous images. And then you just click export button to export your Tamasmart card file with all of the modifications. So it'll basically, as it says here, be a matter of just simply swapping these out. So You can put all your custom content that you have drawn or you have found online or wherever, and just swap them out. And then over here, you'll export it, get the bin file, and then using the AS programmer, upload it into the card itself. As for what we had talked about at the beginning of our video, this over here where it says device IDs is keeping track of the connections. As you can see, there are 3. And because I had initially used it with my smartwatch initially when I was first making my review, one of them is already used up. So it is super simple to come over here and click on clear. Boom, that's it. It restarted it. So our card is now as if it was never used. So that's the beauty of this, being able to do this. You will never be locked out of your cards just because they are connected to 3 unique Tama smartwatches. You'll be able to keep track of it like this as long as you wish and connect them to as many of them as you want. And then we do export and it just downloads it. And again, with that one, you would come back here using the AS programmer, put everything into your card. And this makes it super simple. I know it's a lot of steps to follow through, but don't worry, it is really, really not hard. And that's the beauty of all of this is if you just follow the steps, you're able to do all of this on your own. Now, this one that I had purchased from Bazjo is doing the same exact thing, but with less complication and less headache. So it's honestly up to you. I'll show you how exactly this one works as well. So with this one, it is far more compact. I'm gonna get our card and plug it in like so, and plug this into the computer. The light comes on, the little chirping noise indicates that it worked, and then I'm gonna come to the AS programmer again. We're gonna go to read ID, on protect, and read IC. And as you can see, it is doing the same exact thing as the one that we just put together, but without the hassle. So it's just, as I said, a bit more costlier and you have to wait a bit until it comes in the mail, but it does the same thing. So yeah. So that's it, you guys. Hopefully you were able to follow along. I know this is a bit different than the videos I usually do. There is a lot of steps to follow and how to do this, but hopefully they were easy enough and you were able to follow along. And as I said earlier in the video as well, if you're someone who is good with Japanese, please go ahead and go over to the Discord so you can assist with getting this English patch done as speedily as possible so that all of us can enjoy this fully completed. That'll be absolutely fantastic. Oh, there's like a birthday animation going on. But yeah, anyway, thank you so much, and I will see you guys next time. Au revoir.